Welcome back, family travelers. We're so glad you're here, sitting with us in social isolation, flattening the curve and just trying to make the best of it. One question that we get asked all the time is how do we take such good pictures of our family, of our travels, and all of that good stuff? So we figured that now that we have time on our hands, we're going to answer that. And today we're going to talk specifically about the Canon M50. So why are we talking about the Canon M50? We've had many cameras over the years, including point and shoots, phones, and high-end DSLRs. But this particular camera, the M50, is a great all-around camera that you can take with you on the go, use around the house. And this video, we're not going to get too deep into the specs. You can do that on your own. There's lots of videos out there that go really into deep dives, and that's not us. We want to show you what we use and why we use it. And we'll show you later on in the video some examples of video, and pictures. How does this compare to the iPhone? How does it compare to our main vlogging camera? So our main purpose today is to talk about the Canon M50 and why it's a great all-around camera, especially one to take with you on vacation. So the M50 is it's an upper level, entry level camera, if that makes any sense, right? It's a mirrorless, so it's kind of all the rage these days. It's very, very tiny. In fact, comparing it with an iPhone, it doesn't take up much space in your bag or in the diaper bag, which is where we almost always keep it. Perhaps one of the best things about this camera is that since it is an entry-level camera, it's got like a guided menu. So it actually tells you like, what are these settings and what do they do and how will it impact your pictures, which I find is very important when you're trying to learn in manual mode. And learning in manual mode is the best way to learn how to use a camera and how to figure out how to get the best out of your pictures and videos. Another really cool feature of this, it's got a little like articulating screen, and it's a touch screen. So you can like hold it up like this and then like tap to focus and take your picture. You don't actually have to like hold the shutter button. So you can literally like have it all set up and go up to a stranger and hand them your camera and say, just touch my face and take this picture. And you know you're gonna get a picture that is in focus and looks nice. It's super easy to use, it's light, I can't say enough good things about it. Another cool thing about this camera is that it has like a Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connection, so you can connect it to your phone. And so if you take a really cool picture and you like just can't wait to share it on Instagram, like you can totally do that. So the Canon M50 is very much an upper level entry camera. It's probably a little bit higher than like say the T7 Rebel series or anything like that. Plus it's really, really small. So since it's mirrorless, it doesn't have to be quite as big. Now, like I said, we're not going to get into like the big technical specs, but we want to talk about why is this a great family vacation and taking pictures of your kids kind of camera. One other really cool feature of this camera is that you can buy a nifty little converter kit to put on there. So you can use your existing lenses if you have a Canon DSLR already. So we use, as an example, this macro lens. It's 100mm, and you can take some awesome detail shots of the kids. Like we used it and actually bought it for when Everett was born so we could take the little baby hand pictures. But we use them now for awesome B-roll shots. So if you're like at a beach vacation and you really want to like get some cool images of the wildlife or like zoomed in shots of the kids running at the pool, it's pretty awesome. If you already have a Canon DSLR like a Rebel or something similar, you can use those lenses on this camera. One point I want to make though with this adapter ring is if you're just now getting into photography or videography, there's no need to go out and buy a bunch of different lenses. The kit lens that this comes with, the 15 to 45, is a really solid range. It will go down to 15mm, which is a pretty wide frame, all the way up to 45, which I wouldn't call it a zoom, but it's certainly better than what you'll get with an iPhone. I wouldn't worry about going out and buying a ton of lenses. Just stick with the kit lens until you really learn what you like and what you dislike. They make a lot of very solid prime lenses, specifically for this camera too. The biggest question you're probably wondering is, how much is this thing? And it's, if you're looking to really step up your camera game without getting too into it, it's actually not terrible. Right now, I think last we looked, it was on sale for maybe $600 with the camera body and the 15 to 45 millimeter lens. So for that whole package, it's very much affordable, and it runs in comparison with like the Rebel T7i, and I think it's comparably a better camera. The Rebel T7i I think is maybe $700 normally, and this camera, the M50, normally if you buy it with the lens, it's $900. We'll put a link to the Amazon down below for you to go check it out. The other thing you could do, and this is what we did, we actually bought it refurbished from Canon's website, and we got the whole package for $469. Some people are a little bit afraid of purchasing used or refurbished camera gear, but we find that it really makes the most sense for us because they're basically brand new. The only thing is you don't get the original box, but this thing it came scratch free and everything about it was new. I think they even put a whole new sensor in the camera. So for our money, we would rather buy refurbished and be able to afford to travel more. So it might be something worth looking into. Just for a point of clarification, refurbished isn't technically speaking just buying it used. It actually is a camera that's been sent back to Canon or returns or what have you, where they actually go through, re-inspect the camera and make sure it's on the same level as new. So you are, for all intents and purposes, buying a new camera. The last question you might have is, why would I want to use a camera and carry something extra when my phone takes perfectly good pictures? Well, let me tell you that the difference is night and day. There are certainly situations where having a camera on your phone is the best solution. It's fast, you get a capture of an image that's only going to be shared on social, but you're not going to like print it. The other thing is that with a camera and lens, you can really set up how you want the look to be. With the iPhone, you just get to choose a standard no depth of field or portrait mode, which makes an artificial look of a blurry background. They call that bokeh. With this camera, you can actually set those settings yourself manually and get really great print size images. Plus you can get your images in a RAW file type, which again, not to get too technical, lets you really edit the colors. And instead of just explaining what that means, we're gonna take the camera outside with the kids, we're gonna do some test shots, and then we'll show you a comparison, iPhone versus the M50, and why it's probably worth your time. We're outside swinging. We're gonna do some action shots as I almost get nailed in the head. The M50 is really good at fast motion, which is why it's great for kids. So here's some test shots. Okay, and here's the iPhone for comparison. All right, time to go inside. That was a lot of fun. Those kids move super fast, and portrait mode with an iPhone just ain't gonna cut it. So one other thing that we really didn't mention, you should really consider taking video alongside pictures, especially when you're on vacation. Images capture a lot of really great moments, but video captures a lot of experience. And we always find ourselves looking back at our videos, remembering what the kids sounded like. Even over the course of a few months it changes. So anyway, just something to think about. That's gonna do it for us though. Thanks for watching. We really enjoy talking about cameras and gear and all that stuff. So if we can't be out traveling, this is the next best thing. So let us know what you think. If you wanna see more, if you wanna know more about our vlogging gear setup or lenses or anything really, hit us up in the comments and we'll go from there. But until then, have a good time self-isolating.